Winona State University's floating classroom, the Cal Fremling, was delivered to Winona last week, making its maiden voyage from La Crosse to its home port. Members of Cal Fremling's family, the Griffith family, whose contributions helped make the boat possible, and the university community boarded the boat in Tripolo on a beautiful Friday afternoon for a 2.5-hour cruise to Winona. University President Scott Olson said that having such a great learning resource is a big deal for the university.
Our students have this amazing opportunity to learn from the very environment they're in, these bluffs, this beautiful river. And so to have a floating classroom like this for our students to actually be able to learn all about this river and all about this community, that's huge for Winona State University.
Olson said a lot of people came together to make the project a reality, including both faculty and alumni.
The idea for this boat came about from a number of different sources. Of course, there were faculty in the university who were really interested in getting back out on the river and honoring Cal Fremling's memory that way. We had a bunch of donors saying, you know, if you want to do that, we could help. And then Jeb Griffith at Skipperliner, who's a great friend of the university, they're the company that built this boat. They really wanted to do it for us and do it for us in a way that we could afford it. So there were a lot of forces came together really to say now is the time to do this again.
The boat is named for Cal Fremling, a longtime Winona State professor and Mississippi River advocate. Cal's wife, Arlene, said Cal would be overwhelmed by the gesture.
If he were alive and here and this took place, he probably just would have, I don't know. It's overwhelming, but it's beautiful. It's wonderful to have had the college name the boat after him.
As a professor, Fremling liked giving his students a hands-on learning experience. Arlene said he often took his students out on the river, making the boat a fitting tribute to his legacy.
Made sure that he had, when he'd have a science class that was associated with the river, he'd take the kids out in the pontoon, or if it was a small group, well, he could take them out separately in canoes, but to teach them and let them see rather than read it in a book.
Also on board for the trip was Cal's granddaughter, Kirsty Hendrickson. It was her first time on the river since her grandfather passed away. She expressed her pride in the honor bestowed upon her grandfather.
When I heard about it, it felt like such an honor to be named after my grandfather for this floating resource center. But today it's very overwhelming. Yeah, and I'm honored to be a part of today, and I think he would be honored that this is happening in his name.
The Cal Fremling is wired for use of the latest technology. For instance, onboard cameras have the ability to live stream video back to students in the classroom.
He was a man who changed with technology, but he did not come from technology, so I think he would think that as a professor today, if he were still teaching, he would think this is just phenomenal, and what a resource for people.
Any student who had Cal Fremling for a professor received an automatic invitation to enjoy the river with him. In the weeks leading up to the christening, Arlene said she heard from a number of his former students.
One called me from Virginia and talked to me and told me again what a wonderful professor Cal was and what a meaning, and he said he took me in almost like he was my dad and took me fishing here in Winona. So, you know, students meant a lot to him too.
He always was fond of the saying that students are not a vessel to fill but a lamp to light, and I think that he would be very proud of the fact that learning continues to happen even after his death, and about something he was so passionate about.
President Olson expects the Cal Fremling to be well used by the university and not just by the biology department.
We have faculty in all 5 of our colleges have expressed interest in doing something with this boat. We put out some mini grants that would allow faculty to do some planning so they could figure out how to use it. And, yeah, it isn't just the scientists, it's folks in all of our colleges have ideas about how they might use it. So this boat could potentially be a huge attractor of students to Winona State, but I think also potential faculty, potential staff who would love to work at Winona State, the kind of place that would have a thing like this. I think it's going to be good for Winona. I think it's going to attract people to want to be in Winona too.
Some commented during the trip that all that was missing were mayflies. And before the trip was over, there was one of them on board too, as if to say, "Thanks, Cal, we miss you."